Wow, I'm tired. I was about to copy the link from StreamYard and tweet it.
I'm always like, is that going to happen? Is that going to be a thing?
We're live. Just like a random person jumps in the stream.
Oh, shoot. There we go.
Oh my God, it's on Twitter. That's so weird. Like staring at myself on Twitter.
Are you starting? I didn't even look at it. That's funny. What's up, DDV? Good to see you, man. DDV's in chat after I shot and edited a video and uploaded a video in less than an hour. Nathan. All right, what are we talking about today? After this, I've got to shave, pack, make sure all my stuff is ready. It's going to be crazy. What's up, Tech for Your Needs? Good to see you. Like all the things. Just shot and edited a video, uploaded a video. I'm just having everything.
So busy.
Nathan! All right, he'll be fine. Was he going to do shit in front of the television? I mean, probably.
He might.
Take love of mama.
It could happen.
All right, what are we doing?
Good question. No, I figured we talk about we have the S11 kind of
S11, S20.
Or S20, yeah. S20 now. Then the Pixel 4a.
Pickle.
And yeah, sounds good.
Check out our sponsor, not check out on this one. DDV, I'm just copying and pasting super fast, man. It's fine. Heck out our I don't care. You can check out our sponsor or heck it out. I don't care. You should maybe heck it out. Maybe we should heck out our sponsor. And paste super. Hey, Tish. It's fine. I'll let people heck our sponsor.
Yeah.
It's fine. We'll take care of it afterwards. All right, let's just go ahead and get into this. Sooner the better. I don't know what we're going to talk about. We'll figure it out as we go.
Just leave it to me.
All right. Hit record.
About World War III today, folks.
Oh, my Lord. Yeah, I know. And I'm going to Vegas. That's great. Okay, let's hit record. Let's get all this in the video on the podcast. Okay. Hit record in 3, 2, 1, record.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of GadgetCast. We're now in 2020, in the future, bringing in the new year. I am Gregory McFadden, joined by my co-host, Travis MCP.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I hope that y'all have had a great and successful and safe Happy New Year. That's what's important. So let's keep that going.
Yeah, it's not like World War III or anything started just yet.
Not yet.
We're still alive. You know,
fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed that nothing bad happens. You know, the funny thing is, I was looking at our podcast numbers over the last couple of weeks, and they are just continuing to grow, which is amazing to me. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised. We are amazing. But the good news is for people that are watching now or listening or whatever you're doing to get this podcast, we have no idea how you're getting it. If some dude on New York is selling these in CDs on the streets and you just paid $20 for this, let me know.
Yeah, it's not me. I don't live close to New York or anything like that, so it couldn't be me out there on the streets peddling.
I feel like someone is bootlegging these. And there's someone bootlegging our podcast, and if they are, that's great. Good for them.
You should have done that for CES. You should have just been on the show floor, like
that's what I might do.
CD
that's what I do.
Of like GadgetCast.
Well, that's the thing. So I have so much technology that's going with me. Like I have a camera that's, I have my camera. I have an action camera. I have like 3 different types of ways of capturing audio, including like a digital recorder, which I got a long time ago just in case. But I could do like interviews for the podcast with that, and we can just plop the audio in. So I might do that. I'm also going to try to get some of these folks into future podcasts, which I think is going to be super exciting for the show for a few people in the future who are tired of hearing just me and you. And here's some other people that are interesting.
How could they possibly be tired of hearing us?
I mean, I'm making that up. I'm sure no one's tired of hearing us.
They're clamoring for us. They're listening every week. The numbers will keep going up. They're happy. We haven't had a guest on yet, so people must be pretty happy with the sounds of our voices. Otherwise, I don't know why they're listening. Still have a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts.
At this point, every time you say it now, I get nervous because now, as we get more and more people, the troll will eventually show up.
I see
And
like,
the more,
yeah, I see like the number of like, oh, another review. And then I'm like, oh yeah, 5 stars. All right, we're good. I'm waiting. It's gonna happen. Someone's gonna hate this show eventually to where they're like 1 star, and it's gonna bring the 5-star down to like a 4.0 and be like, no, come
that is so
on.
funny. Yeah,
Why
no,
would you
it's
do such a thing to me?
I appreciate you, Apple Monster. He says we're both awesome, and I appreciate that.
Thank you, Apple Monster. I really appreciate that. Hey, if you are listening and you want to make sure I retain my 5-star rating, if you want to keep Greg happy, go into Apple Podcasts. Even if you don't use Apple Podcasts, you know what? Steal someone's iPhone, log in on their account. Just be like, hey, I got to do something real quick. Let me go to GadgetCast. You know, if you have a significant other, you know, when they're sleeping, just take their iPhone, give a GadgetCast
100%, yes.
star rating, and you know, tweet about it
I think
too.
that's important. I think it's important
if you do that, I'll give you a shout out. You know, I want like proof though. Like, just take like a picture of like.
We need a picture of your sleeping
iPhone.
That's not creepy. We need pictures of your sleeping significant others
while she's sleeping too, or husband or whatever. You know, doesn't matter.
That's
Just
awesome.
your friend's iPhone and do it. That's cool. Preferably not while they're sleeping though. That might be a little creepy.
Yeah, I mean, listen, don't do anything. Don't break the law at this point. I mean, you know, maybe if we get up for like an award,
pay for your lawsuits. I'll tell you that much.
No, we can't. We definitely don't have the budget for that.
No.
But real quick, I want to talk a little bit about CES because it's going to be fun. I'm getting in like a day after the big creators, some of them which are already there. It's funny. I watch on my Twitters that a lot of the bigger creators are there, landed like either yesterday or today. I'm getting there tomorrow, and I'm excited about going. I have like one thing that I have to do, and then a bunch of things that I kind of want to do, and then most of the rest of the time is just going to be walking around in awe. And I just realized also that, unfortunately, I'm not there for very long on Thursday, so little so that I'm not even sure if I'm going to be able to see the floor on Thursday. Like I have to be at the airport at like noon or something like that, or noon, I think. So, and I think the floor opens at like 9, which means, you know, I got to get into account, you know, I got to figure that whole mess out. But at least Tuesday and Wednesday, both full days, I'll be able to check all that stuff out. Plus a lot of the stuff after the fact. I have a couple of creator friends, big creator friends, and also creator friends around my size that I'm meeting up with. So anyone on my YouTube channel, YouTube stories, please check that out. What's up, Scoop the Bowler on Twitter tweets, watching there.
So I'm going to vote says, I know my mom's info. I could rate you with your Apple account. If you do that, Dr. DeVoe, in the review, just say, you know, like 5 stars from mom, and we'll know.
There you go.
That's
appropriate. That's appropriate. But Vegas is funny for me because previously I've only ever gone for work. This is the first time that I've gone to Vegas of my own accord, even though it is kind of work. I guess work for the channel, but it's still something that I chose to do. I typically can't stay there much longer than 3 days. It's like eating too much cookie dough. It's like pretty cool at first, and then you get sick after a while. So I always have to leave on the 3rd day anyway. So this is actually probably going to work out for me. But I do know a couple people that either watch my channel or listen to our podcast or something in Vegas. So I hope to high five a couple of those people out there. It should be lots of fun when I get out there tomorrow. By the time a lot of people are listening to this podcast, which it will go up on Monday. Yeah.
I'm so excited. Like I see all the big creators like tweeting like, I'm going. This is like my 8th CES. And I'm just like, why didn't I go? What was wrong with me?
I try to tell you, man. But next year for sure.
Next year I'll be there. I have to.
That's right.
The problem is, and I tell everyone this, they really did change the requirements for like YouTubers at like the last minute.
Last second.
Like very like inconvenient to like book a hotel, as Travis knows because he had to do it.
Oh my God.
So I was looking into it and I was like, you know what? This is just too much pain for me to go through right now. I'm just gonna swallow it and then but you know, next year I know I'm ready. I know the requirements are gonna be there for me now. So now next year I can book that way in advance and have everything ready to go. And I like Travis, you know, I want to meet people, you know, I want to get there. I've never been to Vegas either, so that should be interesting.
Well, that's overwhelming to do all of that in one shot. I mean, Vegas in and of itself is an overwhelming thing. You might want to get there even a day or two earlier than that, just to acclimate. But I mean, if Vegas is overwhelming to begin with, once you get there and you put like 100 or 200, I don't know how many they say, like 100,000 people or something going to be there, something crazy, across multiple hotels, multiple like convention center, everywhere. That is just an overwhelming situation. And to have I've never been to CES, but I've been to Vegas like 2 or 3 times. So the Vegas thing is going to kind of fly over my head, like whatever. But for you, like everything, it's going to be so much. It'll be good, like it'll be exciting and stuff, but man, that's going to be like an overwhelming. Now, the other problem is for you next year, you will have sponsors like getting you there, and you're gonna have to do specific stuff. Right now, I got one sponsor, which basically just pays for my trip, and then everything else is gonna be free and meeting people and stuff like that. Next year, me and you will have like did you read Andrew Edwards' tweet? What he said today?
No.
So someone was like, "Hey, I hope to hang out with you." And I know this by Andrew, man. He's a business guy. He says, "Man, I'm pretty much from morning to night sponsor meetings like the entire time." I'm like,
yeah, he's got to pay for that new Mac Pro somehow. He's struggling out there.
yeah, I know. He needs some help. Trenton says he needs an event to be located in the Midwest for once. That would be coolio. Like in Chicago. Yeah. No reason not to have one in Chicago. I don't know why no one does that.
Yeah, I mean, they barely have any like tech events in New York City. I remember when I was like really young, my dad took me to like one, and I can't remember what it was. It was at like the Jacob Javits Center, and I got to see like the PS3 like before like it was out, and that was just like mind blowing to me when I was younger. I was like, whoa, it's I can see it and I can play it, and I can't buy it. So yeah, it's gonna be like the same thing. You're gonna see all this amazing tech, and it's like, is this even gonna be on market for me to buy? So are you excited to see anything?
Not specifically. So I have a standing invite for the company that makes a couple of the arcade systems that I have. Remember the arcade stuff I have in my back room. So I have a standing invite for one of those companies that I'm going to go hang out with and see their stuff. And then I know that other company is going to have some stuff. But by and large, like I've kind of kept away from everything. I really just want to catch it in the first. I need to know what's going in before I go, to be honest, because I need to know where to go. But I am just for the first day going to go around. I'm hoping that I'll find a companion, one of my maybe creative friends that can walk with me so I don't get just completely lost. Because the thing is, it's not all in one convention center. And that's the bad thing. So the main part is in the Las Vegas Convention Center. However, unlike most conventions, what is actually happening is that's just the main part. And then there's like 5 or 6 other of the main hotels that have other parts of the convention, and you have to, some of them are quite a ways away. Like walking is a possibility, but not always, depending. You're losing time on travel. So unlike a convention of any kind, like a Comic-Con or PAX or something like that, where it's all essentially in one little area, this is across the entire strip. And you really have to kind of go in with a battle plan, which I do not have. I mean, I know a little bit about where I need to go and what I want to go see. But other than that, dude, I am walking in blind, and this is going to be a crap show. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Geez. that's partly the reason why I didn't go either. It's like it was just so last minute, and then it's like, well, what am I going to cover there? And I'm like looking at all this stuff, and it just went like, it overwhelmed me, and I was like, I can't think about this right now. It's too much for me to like process.
Thanks for Tech for Your Needs, who gave us a review on the podcast. Appreciate that.
Oh no, it's got to be 5 stars. Hold on.
Gave him anxiety.
Hold on. We're gonna see if it's still 5.
A real live check.
Yeah, sorry, folks. It's the. I don't think it went through yet. All right, it'll take a while. But next show I'll update you. We still have 5. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes, it's like, and it's hard to know like what to pay attention to from like, I mean, obviously I've never been, but just like based on like past reports of like people who report it. There's so much stuff that'll like grab your eye just because it's like new and interesting. But there's also a lot of stuff that just like doesn't matter, and it's like there's like no market for it, so it's never going to be a product that's going to be available to purchase. And
from what I understand, that's actually the case quite a bit. Like a lot of these products will never see the light of day, which is crazy.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just a way to show off like, hey, we can do this. Even though it's not going to be a product to sell, it is like a celebration of technology itself, saying this tech exists. Or you see like tech that rolls out that, maybe doesn't get put into a product for like 4 years, and it's in an entirely different way. But like these people like innovated here, and you can kind of see that. Yeah.
What's up, Brandon, on Twitter, seeing us, watching us on Periscope, and Tech Free Needs says you have to check and see if it's a 5-star. But yeah, there's an actual event tomorrow that's like it sounds like Shark Tank, because I should read it to you. At one of the events are like they picked 10 companies, 10 startups to pitch for 4 minutes in front of some people, and I don't know what one of the companies actually is local to me, and they have all different types of tech. and they're all pitching something. And like I said, it sounds just like Shark Tank, but in the email, I don't really understand anything else other than these 10 companies, which they showed me what they were and what kind of things they're pitching. And that's about it. They don't go, well, the winner gets this or anything, nothing. Like I know nothing else about it. I'm like, I might be there for that though. I might watch that because they're gonna be sweating. They're like, this is our chance. I'm like,
yeah, I'm getting like anxiety just hearing you say that. There's like in front of so many people they have to do like these like 4-minute pitches about their company and like their entire futures on the line.
It really could be. It legitimately could be. Here, let me see if I can pull up that email because that might be interesting.
That sounds like that Apple show, which what was it, Planet of the Apps, and they like had to like ride down like an elevator. This was before Apple TV Plus, before they got good at it, and like in an elevator and like pitched like a Gary Vaynerchuk. It was like,
oh my god, that'd be terrible. All right, look, I got the email. Okay, it's the Showstoppers event. So Showstoppers is a pretty big event, but I guess they have a Launch.it event, and it says, quick reminder, we're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow at the Launch.it event. The judges selected 10 companies to pitch for 4 minutes each. The first one is AeroNext from Tokyo, a drone architecture research lab that develops flying robots and air mobility by employing its original center of gravity control technology.
All right, next. No,
exactly. Caregiver Smart Solutions from New York. And the aging in place phenomenon has placed added stress on adult children who are unable to easily afford and monitor their loved ones. I mean, I can see that the need for that. Okay. D3, we're the judges. You guys have already lost. We're not even there yet. Okay. D3 Products from St. Clair, Michigan, I think, transforming your furniture into a powerful charging platform with audio, video, USB, and wireless charging technology. I'm already interested in that.
You're into that? You want like the wireless couch where like you drop
Why not?
Your phone on it and you start charging?
Let's go. Yes.
Like explode under you.
So far, they're my number one. Next one, Future Rocket from Tokyo, simple, easy AI camera for small businesses. I mean, okay.
Okay, I'm into that AI camera.
But we already have kind of this thing. Okay. Groove X, also from Tokyo, robot startup that develops LOVOT, affectionate family robot. That's kind of creepy.
Whoa.
I don't know that we need that.
You need to cover that. You need to be there.
I'll try. You need Intervid Labs from Durham, a cooking platform powered by connected devices that bring safety and simplicity to the kitchen.
Okay.
All right. iWater Tech from California, leveraging IoT technology to enable effortless water conservation without sacrifice or trying to change human behavior.
Boring. Conservation.
I fell asleep reading it. Okay. MUI Lab from a lot of Japanese companies.
Hey, man.
IoT, go Japan. An IoT design startup that develops calm interfaces for peaceful living, whose concept stems from Moishin in the Taoism philosophy. What?
I'm in.
Moving on. Pulseware from New York, makers of Dream On, an easy to use wearable that helps people fall asleep faster without the use of drugs. That's actually useful.
How?
Some people don't know how to sleep.
No, but how does it make you fall asleep faster?
It doesn't say. I got to go watch it.
Like,
I got to go and see.
Like, what could it possibly be doing? Like, that is such
probably a thing you put on your head.
I feel like that's such nonsense. Like, what is it?
Maybe it shocks your brain or something. Who knows?
Oh,
this last one I'm interested in not only because of what it is, but it's local to me, Redmond, Washington, which is like 20 minutes from my house. So I hope to put a hand to a face on this one. Maker of the sustainable smartphone with a 4-year warranty. I want to know what that even means.
I think I've heard about that one previously.
Really?
Yeah. It's
called TerraCube.
Name's not ringing a bell. I remember like someone was trying to make like a smartphone that was all about like sustainability and like all this stuff.
I'm gonna see if I can. If it looks interesting, I'm gonna see if I can.
Let's be honest. You need to check out all the toilet tech that's gonna be there.
Yeah, well, of course.
We know you're into that. You're gonna be sitting on all those toilets doing live demos for everyone.
I would.
Travis will
Don't worry. Don't think I wouldn't. I would, man. I'm all about that. I got my man wipes, my dude wipes. They're in the pack.
Oh yeah. You're all ready. You're gonna have the. Never mind. It's a family friendly. Travis will be very clean. He will not smell.
He'll be clean.
Travis will have deodorant on. He will shower the night before. Some people may not. I hear. I've been to a couple of conventions that weren't tech related, and sometimes people can be smelly.
So that's what I hear. I'm more worried about getting sick and stuff. So I have like
the CES like crud
or whatever they call it.
Yeah, you're gonna come back. Travis is gonna come back to GadgetCast next week, and he's gonna be like, "I'm sick. I can't do the show."
I'm looking forward to that.
You know, when you're sick though, you get like more of like a radio voice. Maybe it'd be like beneficial. Like people like sick Travis. Be like, "Oh, Travis is sick. He sounded like really."
Yeah, I actually do have a pretty cool voice when I get sick. I don't want to like put this out.
I think there was like one time like you came on like you weren't feeling too good, but like, I was like, "Oh, your voice sounds great." Just do that all the time.
We have to check out the toilets for people that are part of the toilet squad of FPT. Yeah, listen, I got to do the hard work.
Yeah, this is Toilet Cast, and then you have the toilet squad.
Yeah. Stock up and start taking vitamin C. Yes, I will be on the vitamin C train. I think I did the I have some of that emergency or something around. I need to make sure I take it. And the other thing is it's really upsetting. I want to be able to take a bunch of water with me, but you can't. On the airplane, you can't even get past like security, whatever, with water. So you have to wait until you get to Vegas, and then buying water in Vegas is just ridiculous. It's like buying in LA, which is terrible.
Yeah.
Because you feel the need to drink water all the time, and they're charging like $4 a bottle if you're lucky.
Yeah, definitely.
Makes me thirsty just thinking about it.
There is something I saw that I was interested in. I'm like trying to go to like a website, but okay. No, it's gonna autoplay, isn't it? I hate when they autoplay. So Samsung's gonna have like an 8K TV at CES.
Oh, I'm gonna see it.
Yeah. You got that's what I want. Did you see that thing? It was like had like no bezel like at all, and it kind of like the stand for it like reminded me like a lot of like an iMac stand. It was like flat on the bottom like a duck foot, and like 8K. Oh,
that's gonna be. Listen, first of all, 8K. Well, I can't say it until I see it. Maybe I'll be impressed by 8K.
8K really only makes sense is if your TV's like ginormous.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, even like 4K. Like you need to get like to like a certain size of TV to where it makes sense. And especially on like viewing distance, like most people aren't like right up on their TV.
Yeah.
But I mean, how big is this gonna be? It looks so like big from the picture, but it has like no bezels. It's so like thin and stuff too.
I'm excited to see it. But I listen, it's gonna take a lot to get me away from my OLED. I mean, as it is,
that's like the disappointing part.
Well, not only that, you got to think about like content. Like if you don't have any content, who cares? I think Andrew has an 8K TV. I should just go over his house.
I think Andrew's tweeted about his 8K TV before and said it does like upscale some content and it like makes it look like really nice. So
I have to go see it for myself.
Potentially do it. That's true. But yeah, there's gonna be like no 8K content for it for sure. And then
I mean, can you imagine the streaming? So I actually went over some people were amazed to hear that I have a data cap. Like they were kind of
that's crazy.
Comcast does that. It's a terabyte, so it's reasonable. But I actually did go over it like a month ago for the first time ever. Typically, I was averaging about 600 to 700 gigs a month. But I had a bad month. I don't know how you look at it. I had a month that I went over. That's when I started uploading in 4K and doing more live streaming and stuff. And I downloaded some games. And I went over. So I was looking into business, Comcast Business, some people don't know this. It's funny. I see people on Twitter complaining about their upload speeds. Now, one thing that's interesting, it's very difficult, at least on Comcast website, to even see what the upload speed is anymore. They don't even like talk about that because most people don't care. Like it's fast enough for most things, and most people don't know what it means but I, as a live streamer and someone who uploads content, need to get something good. Mine right now is 5 megabits. So the video I just uploaded a while ago, I downscaled it to 1080p because I didn't want to take an hour and a half to upload the darn thing. So I downscaled it to 1080p. And that whole like going over, they give you 2 grace periods and then they start charging you like $10 a gigabit or something. So after a while, it gets real expensive. So I'm going to have to get like a business line, which has no caps. And then they, of course, charge you more, but
yeah,
dude,
that sounds rough. I'm
living
the dream over here with my gigabit connection, no caps, upload, same. It's great. I love it.
It's just uploaded on my phone. It'd be faster.
So I'm surprised, Yeah, you should.
I might actually. I might try that as a test one time.
That's one of the reasons like I don't get excited for like 5G because like I look at like my like data plan, like my cellular network, and it's like, yeah, you get like 50 gigabytes, and then after that we slow you down. It's like, thanks. Like, what am I going to be doing on like this 5G speed? That's going to be like it's gonna be like really fast to like download a movie, and then they're gonna be like, oh no, you went over your cap. We gotta slow you down. So
my 5G is so fast, I went over my cap in one day.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know why to like Like they need to change that when 5G rolls around, especially because like the main plan with like 5G eventually is to like replace like home networks with it because it's going to be so fast that like you can't have those like you can't have a 50 gigabyte data cap on it. It's ridiculous.
No, it's crazy. What's going on, Bill? I'm watching on Periscope. And then Trenton says that I need fiber internet. I looked into it. I can't get it in my particular neighborhood, which is interesting because
that's surprising.
I know, especially if you saw my neighborhood, like it's a really nice. I live in a really nice neighborhood. I think I own
like in your videos when you're walking around town. I'm like,
yeah, it's a really nice neighborhood. I own the least expensive house in a otherwise very nice neighborhood, and that's how I got in. I'm like the poor guy. Like I'm that dude. Did I tell you? Did I show you the comment someone left talking about how he had said something like, because I'd shot something outside, and he was like, looking at those houses you live by, man, I'm in the wrong position. It's another rich YouTuber. I'm like, dude, ain't nothing rich about me, but I did work hard and I did work a corporate job, and I did save money, and I didn't go out on Friday nights partying with my friends, and I did, you know what I mean? Like it's like I didn't just fall into this. But I thought that was funny because I'm like, nothing could be further from the truth. The reality is I kind of overpaid for the house, and then immediately when the market crashed, like I remember very distinctly buying my house, and the realtor, while I'm like, this is like more than my maximum, and she goes, don't worry about it. I've been doing a realty for like 15 years. I've never seen it go down, and within 3 months, everything dropped. Remember that when the big bubble dropped?
Yeah.
And within 3 months, I was upside down on my house. I'm like, this is some BS. So then I was trapped paying like 7% more interest, and paying more interest than I was the actual mortgage for a couple of years until it eventually. Now I'm doing very well. But yeah, it was crazy there for a minute because it was the one thing that we never had to worry about was like, oh, it always goes up. Nope. Yeah. It stopped.
I'm waiting for another one of those crashes. I was talking to my fiance the other day, and like the home values are like so high. I'm like, we got to just wait for another crash. I think we're overdue. Like,
here's the thing:
a couple of years.
If for some reason I was out there shopping for houses, I cannot afford my house now. That's what's crazy.
Yeah. It's like insane.
I can't afford to buy the house that I have.
The home values right now are like crazy, and they go up like every year, like so much. And I'm just like, I just need like another crash to happen so I can move into it.
Bruh.
Ah, man.
Bruh. Good times.
Chill day. I'm trying chill day for the New Year GadgetCast, I think. It's been a pretty
2020. What a cool year.
2020 is cool, except the war.
Let's call everything 20 from now like Samsung's doing. I mean, let's skip 9 revisions.
What? So, okay.
They've done it before. There was no Note 6.
Okay.
So there is a precedence of doing dumb stuff.
There is no iPhone 9. So
yet. That's the rumor.
So S11, which we thought, obviously S11 after S10, apparently it's going to be the S20. Interestingly enough, you just reviewed a Samsung phone not too long ago on your channel, the A51, if I have that correct.
Yes. Yeah.
And
I'll actually do the full review when I get back from CES, but yes, I did.
Apparently, like what's interesting to me, like looking at like Samsung versus like Apple, is like you can actually see like a lot of design cues into that lower cost phone that are going to make its way into the flagship, including that like bigger camera bump, which everyone, kind of looks at and complains about, like with the latest Galaxy line, like all these different cameras. And I was watching your video on the A51, and like I was like, oh, this thing has like 3 cameras, has like a macro lens and everything like that. And I'm like, I'm trying to figure out, I'm like, how is this phone like $350? Like,
yeah, right.
A good deal to me. Like, I was like trying to look at like the S20 leaks, and I'm like, yeah, the bezels go like a little more to the edge. I'm like, what's like the real like difference here? I guess like processor speed was like your main thing about it. Like, it's not gonna be as fast as like current flagships, but so what do you
that's my thing.
Yeah,
that's going to be the thing, man. It's going to be, and Bill says it doesn't have the Apple tax, but that's not necessarily true. There's a Samsung tax too. Remember, this is a Samsung phone that we're talking about, and their Samsung's flagships are almost as expensive as a lot of the Apple phones. So it's not even like that. It's the smartphone tax. It's what people will pay. I'm going to probably be doing a lot more mid-range smartphones reviewing this year because they're becoming more compelling. Yes. I would say some of them are more compelling than the flagships at times.
Yeah, and we could talk about the Pixel 4a as well because, I reviewed the Pixel 4. I said it was okay, but I thought it was like a little too expensive for what they're offering. I actually might do an update video on that too as well. I gotta do that because I actually found out some more things about it. But the 4a, like the design of it, it's like, this is strange to me. I think the 4a is a better designed phone than like the regular 4. Like, and it's like crazy to me. I'm like looking at it. It's gonna have like a hole punch display. It basically looks like an S10e, which is also a phone I reviewed last year, and I thought that was like a great phone. I everyone was going for like the more expensive Samsung flagship, so I did a zag. I went for like the cheaper model, and I was like really impressed by that phone. And like some of the other people who ended up reviewing it later basically agreed with me, saying like, hey, it had like a fingerprint scanner on the side of that phone, and it was like super fast. And the flagship ones had like a in-screen one that was kind of slow and unreliable. And it was almost like, yeah, like if you don't mind the size, which a lot of people do, honestly, but if you didn't mind the size, like that was like an excellent phone, like a really good value at the time. It came with like 2 cameras as well, and just that phone like really impressed me for what Samsung was offering there. And it looks like the 3A I liked a lot too. It was like a $400 phone, which is in the realm of that A51 which you reviewed, which I was also looking at going, well, that looks like a pretty good deal. But yeah, the 4A like has like a hole punch display, and the regular 4 has like a big like forehead on it. Like I can't. Like I'm like, why is this? And I guess because the 4 has all that like Face ID technology into it, which as I say it now makes sense. Okay, obviously they couldn't put the hole punch display, but I'm just looking at it in terms of design. I'm going, yeah, the $400 phone looks better than your $900 phone.
And there's a lot more of that as we look into companies like Huawei and stuff like that. And I don't know if any of those companies will be at CES, although I think last year at CES was the first time we saw like was that where the folding phone was?
I think, they snuck out like that Royal Flex Pi thing, which is like a disaster. But they had like
but at least you got to see it, right? So I'm wondering, like if we'll see something like that there. I like what some companies are doing with how much they're packing into a $500 and less phone. We're seeing more and more of that. And the Bill says, the Pixel 3a, it's 99% of what most people need, and that I would agree with that. I think the real innovation right now is coming in the mid tier, not so much the high end. Like the high end has got these cool little gimmicks and stuff that you use for a little while and you forget about it. Like for example, I remember everyone making a huge deal about the update that was going to come with the iPhone 11 Pro that was going to allow you to use the front and back cameras. And like, I forgot all about it. Most people forgot about that. Like, is that even a thing yet? I don't even know.
No, it's actually coming out later this month. At the end of the month is when they're promising it. That's from like Filmic Pro. And apparently it's gonna be limited to like 1080, which was like disappointing to me. Like they like really overhyped that at the keynote, and I was like, that looks like a really cool feature that I could see like using. But then I was like, well, if you're limiting it to like 1080p video, it's like it becomes like less useful, because like the 4K on the iPhones looks so nice.
Yeah,
I guess there's like certain situations where you could use it. Like 1080, I guess, is fine, but
it's fine. But I think, it also depends on what you're using it for. And if you're using all 5 of those cameras, you're probably doing something high end, in which case you probably need. And that might be, but that might be more a limitation of the hardware more than the software, right?
It's surprising, because it's like you look at like this hardware and like the scores you get and like everything, and it's like you think it would be able to do it. But then you have to remember, like processing 4K video, it is very intensive. So
yeah,
like
4 or 5 streams
at all, to be honest.
But I don't even know that it's that. It might be something. It might be a bandwidth issue somewhere in the chip, which we've seen on. Which is why I think, what is it? The Pixel 4. One of them. Oh, Pixel 4. I think it is, that doesn't do 4K 60, right?
Yes.
So that's a hardware limitation. I remember reading some stuff about it. It actually isn't a software limitation, a hardware limitation, a weird one.
Well, you have like instances of like where the Pixel 4 couldn't, some of them couldn't at 4K, like for like prolonged periods of time. If you're shooting the video, like even like 30 FPS would become like choppy, and like it wouldn't have like the correct frame rate.
My gosh. So,
yeah.
Google, just stop. Stop with the high end stuff. Just do mid range stuff, and you'll be all right.
Yeah. The 4A, I mean, I like the 3A a lot. It looks like it's basically gonna be like the same kind of deal, like a plastic body phone with like a single lens camera, but it's gonna be like the same single lens as the 4. So I'm excited for that one. And I really like the design of it, because it looks like an S10e, which I'm like, okay, give me that. But are you like hyped for the S20 at all, or?
I don't know yet. I gotta see. Like, I know there's leaks and everything, but I try to stay away from them for the most part, unless I have to do a video on them. We're only a month or so away from the actual presentation.
February
on it. Yeah, February 11th that leaked. Ironically, the show leaked.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, looking forward to that, I guess. Just like anything else, if it's interesting and there's a compelling reason to get it, I'll get it. I don't know that it'll replace my everyday driver, but I will be able to either trade in my 10R, which has been sitting around, or my OnePlus 7 Pro towards that. I'll probably do the OnePlus 7 Pro, I think. Well, I don't know. We'll see how it works. That way I'll have my iPhone 11 Pro and then also the S11. But I'll have to get whatever the S11 Pro, because I can't do smaller phones anymore. But we'll see. Like,
yeah.
I'm interested to see what Samsung does. Last year, they had a great presentation for the S10, S10 Plus. Like, it went over very well.
Was the S10 presentation when they showed like the fold for like the first time, like they made it like really dark and they like whipped it out of like his pocket? Yeah.
Well, no, that was a thing previous. There was the S10. I think is when they actually showed it.
So that was the same event. Like they showed off the fold. Yeah. I think you're right. Yeah, you're right.
It was. I just remember it universally being well received. Like that event was like, wow, Samsung actually pulled a rabbit out of the hat, because no one thought it was going to be any good, because we thought we knew everything about it. It was, no big deal, but they did a really good job. So I'm hoping to see more of the same.
So you think we'll see a Fold 2 at this event?
That would be interesting. We might see that newer version, that clamshell one. Yeah. And if that clamshell one comes out at $850, which is what they're saying,
$850.
That's what I saw. I think Max Weinbike say. I would probably pick that out.
I'm getting it. $850. I'm getting it. I want a folding phone to test out. Like $850. I'm getting it. I was hoping they'd do the Fold 2 as well, because I'd probably get it and just to be like, all right, let's see. Had a couple some time to fix the issues, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean,
for like the Motorola, and the Motorola one's like what, like 1,500. So they're gonna eat their
So now we'll see. Here's the thing: we don't know this for 1,000% sure, but let's say it is $850. That completely destroys the Motorola. Like the Motorola, rest in peace.
Oh, it's done. It's over.
Motorola isn't even really out yet. Secondarily, they're using kind of a slower processor, although you could argue that in that form factor, you may not need a more powerful processor. However, Samsung will very likely use a better processor, in which case you're like, well, why would I buy the Motorola? Period.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Samsung comes back out and they come out under 1,000 for a folding phone, which I have a hard time believing, but if they do, woo,
I think it's gonna be at least 1,000. Like I can't see it. It's like crazy.
Yeah. So this is why I don't know why. I forget what Max Weinbike said about it. He said it on Twitter, but he had read it somewhere. It was some leak or something. Again, that could be completely wrong. Yeah. Prices are the one thing that have been fairly inaccurate on almost all the phone leaks. Yeah. Like everything else is accurate. Yeah. But that's like by the way, from what I understand, I was looking at some of the people who were at CES. There's like leaks of the S11, S20, whatever there now. I also was offered by email the other day, not only the S11 cases, but the dummy for it. I didn't reply to it because I'm not going to be around, but so that's out there. And the cases tend to be accurate. So, I mean, there's very rarely a case where the cases are wrong. They're almost always right. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. What if they do a case for that? Can you do a case for a folding phone? You have to do the two parts.
Yeah, you would have to just break it up in two. Other things about the S20 though, before we get off that. So two big features which are rumored is 120 hertz display refresh rate, which is going to be cool. I imagine like the iPhone 12 would also get that because Apple uses Samsung display tech in their phone, so I would imagine they would be able to do, they call it ProMotion on the iPad. So I imagine we see like similar things there. I'm not sure what like the battery hit would be on that, because like obviously a faster refresh rate impacts the battery. I know Apple does something in software with the iPads to limit that, like unless you're touching it and then it goes to 120 hertz. So hopefully Samsung does something like that to mitigate the battery, because like the batteries on these phones are getting like really good. It would stink to like take like a step back. From what I understand though, the rumors are they're going to pack like giant batteries into these as well, so probably to mitigate that. And then I imagine it's Android, so if you really want a high battery life, you'll just be able to turn that off in software. And then 8K video recording is a rumor, which
that's crazy.
That's bonkers. Like,
so I wouldn't worry about 8K video recording. I would like to do what Sony does on like their A6400, where it shoots everything in 6K, but then down samples to 4K, which gives you a lot of options for like zooming in and out and like all these really cool things without losing, without losing any quality. So yeah, it's good, Daniel. Good to see you. So I would that's what I would be more excited. I want to be excited about an 8K file size.
You don't,
Like
you don't
4K
think it's actually going to be like 8K? Like, I think it will be.
maybe it will be, but what I'm saying is the time.
You just want to like zoom in. Like, you're excited to like zoom into your footage and like not lose detail.
I would like them to use that technology smarter rather than just doing a spec race. Like, hey, we got 8K now. That's great. No, the F1 is going to use that because you can't freaking show it anywhere unless you're MKBHD. Like, well, no one's watching 4K on their phones as it is.
That's true. But like you said, like you could shoot in 8K, and then even if you're doing like a 4K project, you basically can like zoom in and like not lose any detail.
Yeah,
so that could be
like super intelligent. I don't know. Make some good technology with it. I'm not the guy that makes that stuff happen. I'm just the guy.
It's gonna be like, it's just gonna be like, and you can watch your 8K footage on our 8K Samsung TV. Like that's like the pitch, right? Like it's like, oh, get the 8K and 8K.
I think that's the point.
Honestly, I remember when 4K first came out on phones, like it wasn't like the greatest looking video. Like it's still like you can get to like those resolutions, but like there might be like other issues. Like, right now, like even like the iPhone, like there's like certain like limitations. If you're like, actually they fixed that this year, but previously like they could do like 4K 60 frames per second, but then they couldn't do like high dynamic range. So you might see something similar to like this, like, oh yeah, you can get 8K resolution and it can only be at 24 frames per second, and there's not going to be like any sort of high dynamic
range.
And
then I don't care about it. And at that point, I don't care. I just give me 6K with all the options, motion stable, like everything that you normally, when you normally go through a Samsung phone, as you raise the thing, it goes, well, if you do this, then you lose these features. Give me 4K 60 with every single feature. And give me 4K 120 frames of slow motion. Like, give me all that with no compromises, with none.
This camera is also gonna be like what, 102 megapixels rumored?
108.
108. Okay, I keep getting them mixed up. 108. That's weird to me. Like, I remember there was a time when smartphones, like when there was like the camera race back in the day, and everyone was going for like higher megapixels, like the Nokia phones from Windows. They had like really high megapixel phones, but the cameras weren't better than what, say, like Apple was doing on theirs, using like an 8 megapixel sensor at the time.
Right.
And I wonder if we're just getting back into that race. Like most phones today are like 12 megapixel sensors, maybe 16. And now all of a sudden I'm hearing about this camera, and I've been hearing about it for a while, that there's going to be a 108 megapixel sensor. And I think about that, and I think of like my full frame camera, which is a Sony, and that's only like a 24 megapixel. So I'm trying to like gather in my head, like what like, is that going to like be like, that should be like amazing. Like you should be able to like zoom in forever and not lose detail. But that's not going to be the case on a smartphone. It really is just gonna be like a tech spec, right? Like, there's no way they can make it like an actual like 108 megapixel readout, can they?
There was so I did a video about it a couple of weeks ago on my channel. It talks about the reasoning behind the 108 megapixels. So watch that if you're listening to the podcast now. Bill's saying Periscope's cutting out. That's because Periscope sucks. But I wanted to do something to put us on Twitter, at least for now. We'll start streaming to more things. We're also going to try to have obviously the YouTube channel we have now, plus along with maybe another channel with just clips of different things, because we've talked about a lot of things that are easily clippable just in this episode alone.
2019 was the preview for GadgetCast. 2020, it's where it happens. So many things in the work behind the scenes. Me and Travis working day and night. Travis, we got to talk about it.
We got to work day and night. Can we start doing that?
Yeah.
On CES, can you do that?
So next week's show, though, Travis is gonna have all the CES information.
Yes,
he's gonna be. So
I highly recommend, if you're listening and you want CES stuff, follow me on Twitter or Instagram, where I'll be doing a lot of stuff there. I'm also going to be putting YouTube stories up while I'm there with stuff that I probably won't be able to fit into regular videos. So if you're interested about that type of stuff, links to my channels are in the description of the YouTube channel and in the show notes of the audio thing, the podcast.
Yes. Before we head off, I just want to say thank you to Zach Hall from 9 to 5 Mac. I was on the 9 to 5 Mac Watch Time podcast for the last episode. We talked about the Apple Watch and kind of how I lost a bunch of weight losing it. So if you're interested in stuff like that, definitely check that podcast out. It was a ton of fun doing it. It was really great time. like, thank you again, Zach, for having me on. That was like a high honor for me. So
yeah, you're doing all types of stuff. You did that. You did Telosa podcast. You look at it. No one asking me for
that was
nothing.
also a very high honor. If you want to check back, that was like a couple episodes ago. But yeah, did that show as well. Going to be on even more shows in the future, actually. So when that
No
happens,
one's asking me for jack. They don't realize the skills. They're afraid of me, baby. That's all right. Don't worry about it. Players got me holding me down. That's all right.
Yep.
No big deal. Listen, I'm going to see yes, and they're not. So put them in the face. Or maybe they are. Well, I'll see them there. Then I'll say, listen, you should have had me on. All right. That's enough. We got to go. I got things I need to do. I need to pack and everything and shave and all the other things. So listen, for another edition of the GadgetCast, this is Travis. He's Greg. We're going to do it again. See you next time. Recording has stopped. It's almost full.
Oh, what a show.
What a crazy show. Thanks everybody for joining us live. We appreciate it.
So crazy. Getting more like every show, a little bit more like listeners watching live, which is cool to see like grow. Like you go from like one listener and it's like 15. It's like, all right.
Well, we had more than that because some of those are on Twitter. Like when we first started, it's just like 20 because like it just pops up in everyone's feed.
I think we need to ask our audience too. Like, I think we stream at like a bad time for people to catch it live.
Probably.
So we might have to move the show time if we want to make like the live component a better part of it. Because it's 5 o'clock on a Sunday where I am. That's like a lot of people like maybe thinking about dinner, not thinking about like live streams. And then like 2 on like the West Coast. I don't know what people are doing around 2 o'clock there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm up for whatever. As long as it's after like 1 p.m. on Sunday, I can pretty much go anytime. So, maybe we'll find, maybe we'll put a poll or something.
Australia, and
what time is it in Australia?
There, I don't know.
Alexa, what time is it in Australia?
It breaks my heart watching what's going on in Australia right now. Like on my Twitter feed, it's all like about those wildfires. It's like it breaks my heart like hearing about like all the destruction going on there, and like they had like a thing out about like how much of like the wildlife, and they're like estimating like it was like some like absurd number like was there like millions of like animals are just like dying. I was like,
I can't even think about that.
It broke my heart. Like it just made me like really sad today. Like
I don't even understand what's going on. I can't even wrap my head around
the news over here. Like I only know about this because like Twitter. Like I have not seen this on like American news outlets at all. Like talking about it. Like maybe like you need like this is like the whole world should be like banding together to like put out. And it's like it stinks.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Well, I will say this. Hopefully, and I hope it all ends up being all right. But Australia is home to the loudest insect in the world and some of the most dangerous reptiles in the world. So if they get rid of those, I'm all right with that. Then I might go visit. But other than that, if they get rid of the loudest insect in the world and some of the most venomous animals on the world, then I'm all right with that. I'm sorry. But I might go
destroying the ecology of Australia.
I'm sorry. I
fear of poisonous things.
I'm not PC after the stream is off. I can't do. Oh wait, we're still live. Oh wait, sorry. All right, look. Peace and love, everyone who's watching. We appreciate you, and we'll definitely see you guys Sunday. And then, of course, follow me on Twitter, everything else for the CES coverage. So thank you so much for watching live. Greg and I will catch you next time. Peace.